Hello, game devs. Today we're going to talk about the Stanley Parable, developed by Galactic Cafe, a first-person office simulator that explores the meaning of destiny and personal choice. So sit, stay. The core of this experience is the exploration of narrative. The player engages directly with a voice in our head narrator. There are no specific goals here, which is reflected in the multiple different endings that gives us hours of replay value. And that uncomfortable feeling of, what should I do? What should I do with my life? Although I haven't measured this formally, it's an extremely common trend that users are going to ignore text and voiceovers and cutscenes if they're given the opportunity. From my personal work experience, I'd say about 10% of the people who I brought in for user testing, and those are people who know the developer is watching them play the game, only about 10% would read through everything, and about another like 5 to 10% would only read the first 2 or 3 lines and then go, skip. So, or hit like the turbo button or something. So the developer in this game very intentionally set out to buck this trend and to make this story the main way of determining what choices we make and getting that really integrated into what you're doing. And you really need to listen to what's going on. And just like in Undertale, we're dealing with an untrustworthy narrator, someone who's not always got your best intentions at heart and who might tell you one thing. In order to progress, you might have to actually do the opposite thing. And that's really interesting because the way it is written, it has a lot of fourth wall breaking. The narrator is often talking directly to you. That fourth wall really, it just gets shattered to pieces in most of this game. And the in-game narrator references things like achievements and other actions the user is taking. And so it's just a really fun and it's kind of surprising experience. You can close the door to your office, or you can close the door to your office, or you can explore the world in any number of ways. But really, the only thing you can do is walking and pressing the E button to interact with objects in the world. So the shortness of each path from beginning to end allows the players to repeat and explore many different paths while not feeling like they've lost out on something. They know they'll revisit it, they'll try it again, and they'll see it again. So this is a much more natural way of playing through a game, and it's really great. I bet the team who made Outer Wilds probably made a similar narrative design choice, and it wouldn't surprise me if they referenced this game a lot when they were developing the Outer Wilds. Go check that out. It's a pretty good game. Narratively, this game has crisp dialogue, surprises, and humor. There is plenty of content throughout the world wherever you seem to have a chance to investigate something in the corners of the experience, even though there's very limited as to where you can go. It reminds me a lot of the feeling for when you like wait for an alternate idle animation. I think I remember Sonic would like tap his foot impatiently, and Tails would like fall asleep or something. And that, or feeling that, or the feeling of getting that special sound effect from the character, like in Warcraft when you clicked on them repeatedly. The orcs, I think they would go like, stop poking me, and the sheep, they would like explode. So that feeling is really much in this game as well. This game scratches that itch really hard for me. This game also would be nothing without the expertly done audio and voice acting. Just from a technical perspective, the dialogue is crystal clear. The performance is stellar. And from reports, it was done in a single take. I'm not sure what unicorn he found, but when I was editing down the lines of some famous actors when I was working on games, there would be occasional redos, there'd be flubs. People would have to redo a lot of different things. And all that was derived from an auditioning process to find the right talent, and it really paid off for the developer who, this voice actor could have easily tanked the project. As far as what we can learn, the project was originally a Half-Life 2 mod, and it was developed by Davey Rendon, which evolved over time into Unity. It's pretty amazing that this developer had such a specific goal at the beginning, and then explored and iterated and executed and developed the game that had an incredible amount of character, considering it's literally the most boring location you can think of, right? A cubicle farm office. That is narratively the most boring place I can think of anyway. But it is the crux of the experience. The word parable means spiritual or moral lesson. And if we reflect on this and we think about it, I think it's really clear the developer is presenting you with some options of how you should live your life. Are you going to live your life by putting your head down and closing the door to the outside world because it makes you feel comfortable? Or are you going to explore the world? Are you going to listen to some disembodied voice, parent, boss? Or are you going to take your own decisions, make your own decisions in life? We're given limited options in a really boring world. In the game industry, CEOs and producers would be livid with the approach. There would be a general expectation that the first 10 minutes had to have the game very highly polished with explosions and pulling out all the stops to like suck the player into the world and to buy the game if they haven't played it yet. But not in this game. There's a right path and there's a left path, but there is no wrong path, and certainly no flash right at the beginning. The playing through of it is the deepening of the experience for many players, at least I think so. And when we talk about, good art or bad art, what we're talking about is that art allows us to draw our own conclusions about the world, and the Stanley Parable accomplishes this. It gives the player the opportunity to make their own judgments. Personally, when I think about this game, I think about the game is trying to tell me that I need to go outside my comfort zone. I need to go find a magical experience that, some of them might be good, some of them might be bad. But at the end, the contrast of these experiences to the safety and boringness of that cube office makes me want to take advantage of the world while there's things here to try things and to see things and to do things. It also makes me think about a person's compass, a moral internal compass. And I reflect on my own personality and how I deal with situations. Like I try my best not to make decisions based on other people's instructions, but rather I try to measure my actions against an internal set of rules and standards. And it's the same kind of thing that, the Milgram experiment was investigating when they were putting subjects through a situation where researchers, they would purposefully instruct them to do something that they normally wouldn't do. And and the users would do it because they were told to do something in kind of that authoritarian manner. And that has some similar undertones here. But overall, the one thing I would take away from this game is that the meaning of something is sometimes what we ourselves imbue in it. And there is no purpose in life beyond the purpose that we choose, because how we feel is more important than those external forces when it comes to our path through life, when it comes to our deciding our path through life. So what are your takeaways from the game? How do you interpret the world? Let me know, and keep an eye out for 2021. There's the Super Deluxe version with more endings and gameplay to keep you going. I'll see you in class.